What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode here of Suburban Paranormal. As always, I am your host, the one and only Dex, and I'm glad to have you guys back for another episode. Don't forget, we are brought to you by the Cinescape Media Network, where we have many shows throughout the week. Don't forget to check out our new show. We have 215 Fishing, hosted by Bob. That should be a good one. Should hopefully be up and running soon. And we also have a new show called Mike's at the Round Table, which is another good one with a bunch of us from all the different shows hosting kind of just one big show. So again, go check us out over at Cinescape.media, where you'll be able to find the show and many more. So let's go ahead. Let's dive right in here. Let's get a little bit of the paranormal news. I found another article on unexplainedmysteries.com. That's unexplained-mysteries. And it looks like another recording of Nessie has popped up. This time it was caught on a webcam on April 13th. And due to the current pandemic, there's not really a lot of boats out on the water. So what you see in the video is what it is. According to the person that recorded it, named Eoin O'Fagdagian, I really probably butchered that name, and I apologize. But they said it's about 10 feet long. It stuck its head out of the water about 3 feet in the air. So I'm not going to go over the whole article. There was some little bit of information in there. I'll put the link in the description of the episode as well as on the website in our post there. So go ahead and check it out and take a look. I mean, it's a pretty low resolution video. It definitely looks like there's something coming up and out of the water, but it does seem kind of pixelated. So it almost looks like you're really just watching camera glitches, but it's more deliberate. You can see what looks like something goes underwater, comes back up. Again, I'm going to leave the link below. Check that out. Let me know what you guys think. Is it just camera playing tricks, or are we seeing, hopefully, possibly Nessie? And we're going to keep up with the cryptozoology news here from the same site, actually, which I've been thoroughly enjoying. There's a lot of different news articles there where they cover a lot of different things. So I did find another article where they are talking about more werewolf sightings, which is interesting. So you don't really hear too much talk of werewolves, but I mean, they are definitely one of the things that I've always kind of was curious about. The creature is being estimated at 2 meters tall, which is a little under 6.5 feet for us American folks that don't know meters. But anyway, there is one photo on Twitter. It shows what you see, basically claw marks in the dirt, ground, wherever it was taken. But it does tell some interesting stuff in regards to the sightings, where werewolves have been one of, like I said before, my favorite lures. I mean, a shape-shifting human to man and vice versa, or whatever you believe these massive creatures to be. I don't know. Like I said, I always thought these were pretty cool. So, again, I'm going to leave the link to this article as well. And I'd like to, again, like I said, I like to engage with you guys. I like to hear different stories and things like that. So, do you believe in werewolves, and what do you think they are? Are they just misconstrued creatures, or are they these mythical beings that we really have not much information about? So go ahead, like I said, reach out to us on Facebook, Twitter, and feel free to have a conversation with us about it. We don't judge, and it's always a nice intellectual debate. You will always get that from us. There's no down talking or anything along those lines. So we're going to keep moving on here. Like you said, I know every week I do these, I still get people saying that they're enjoying them. So, of course, I'm going to keep up with them. And that is, of course, guys, my favorite part. The dad joke. The paranormal dad joke of the episode. So, here we go. Where do spirits like to go on vacation? Malibu. Oh, I still have yet to get the laughing track soundtrack to put behind these corny jokes. I think I promised that last week it was coming, but we're still all in lockdown, and I'm still in a office covered in a bunch of stuff. And just the more I clean, the more it comes back. But a lot of stuff going on around here. So hopefully we will be back to 100% here very shortly. But we're going to keep chugging along. Let's get into some more TV talk. Now, I believe I've already mentioned that Skinwalker Ranch has come on TV, and another episode where I almost feel it's grasping. It just... I don't know. Like I said, I really wish there wasn't such a scripted feel. While I understand, again, scripting for television, this is on the History Channel. Like, why are we not just really sticking strictly to more scientific and the history of the location and things along those lines? I mean, I turned into the History Channel and was hoping for, you've heard me say before, a better scientific approach and different means to test all these out. And I mean, like this week, what seemed like possibly some really neat evidence with an IR camera, and they're shining a green laser like really far from one section to like the mesa, and the beam was splitting or reflecting. And, you know, it was really what looked like could be fascinating information that would have been nice to read more about. There was a beam. It looked like it was lit up. But all of a sudden, the guy wants to go and grab his head, who we've heard for 2 episodes, like it's been built up that this guy had some kind of issue where the skin on the back of his skull or something along those lines. I don't want to be gory or give away too many details, but it was like they've built up something for 2 episodes without you really knowing about it, and then all of a sudden it's, oh my goodness, and it overshadows everything. And it's more like a theatric of what's happening possibly to these people rather than the evidence that they're catching. They like present it like it's kind of cool, and then it's just, it gets pushed away. And it's, you know, it's really, really a shame because I mean, I'll give it a couple more episodes. I'm really hoping it turns around again and we get out of the dramatics of it. Because again, this, I mean, you're the History Channel. You're expected, I think, to be not quote unquote dull in a sense, but give us more non-scripted drama and the stuff that we really just want to see. Just, can we please get back to that? That's all I want to rant on that one for a little bit. But again, we'll see, and we can all maybe hope that it does turn around. Speaking of TV, we're going to get into, we talked about before, Quibi was launching. And we were excited to possibly, well, I don't know who was all excited, but I thought it was going to be cool. We were getting some kind of new platform, and we were going to try and shove episodes into, 10-minute or less than 10-minute shows. And what did we get? It's no different than any other streaming platform. I mean, at least maybe for this show, but I mean, if this is against, or this is how the shows are for everything, instead of just saying, here's a 40-minute episode, I'm going to toss a couple breaks in for some commercials for you, we get one house divided into mini episodes that are less than 10 minutes long, And not to be so negative, but you feel kind of ripped off. It's not just you're literally taking one thing that one streaming site's going to say, oh, here's one episode, we got a couple commercials. You're literally just trying to tell me this is the so-and-so house, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. And, I mean, the first episode, and it was like, okay, if you get over that fact, it really was not that good of a show. The first episode is the house with the old lady who kills the 7 people, buries them in the yard. Pretty sure it was 7 people. She kills the people, she buries them in the yard. So they talked very little about the history. They talk about kind of the other experiences. But then all of a sudden, they act a little freaked out, and then it's, we need to redo the yard. And it's 3 episodes mostly of them redoing the yard to, put a face on where it all happened, pretty thing. But that's it. The people stayed. Murder house flip would make me think you were doing something to flip the house to sell it or something along those lines. But the people just had them come out and do a small renovation, and they stayed, and it was like it was a really bad watered down version almost of any renovation show out there, where you just use the history of the house really, and then that was it. So like I said, I only got through the first one, and like I said, I felt a little ripped off, where it's, instead of just one episode with quote unquote commercial or ads, you're just trying to tell me it's part 1 of an episode, part 2 of an episode, or it's an episode part of however you want to call it. It's really no different. You just tried to rename something different. Like, you just tried to, but I don't want to harp too much on that. I mean, like I said, this is a paranormal show, not ripping into TV too much, but part of the issue I have with paranormal is some of the TV shows and how we, again, get kind of played a little bit, or, made fun of, or however you want to say it. But I've said that before, and I know it won't be the last time that, but I guess, like I said before, we've also all been there, we've done that, and it's just what it is. So, last thing I have on TV, we do have Ghost Nation coming back. That'll be this upcoming week, Wednesday night. So, looking forward to seeing those guys come back. I'm interested on how many episodes are going to be. I know there was some recorded, I think. There was a post where Jason had mentioned they did get to record some stuff before everything got put on lockdown. So hopefully it doesn't delay too much stuff when it comes to upcoming shows. But I guess we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't hamper too much. I know we are apparently starting to talk about reopening, so we're just going to have to see where that all goes. But that's all we have there for the television news. But as you know, we always like to get a little discussion going here. So I wanted to keep it simple this week, and I'm just kind of curious, what is your favorite part of the paranormal? Are you more of a ghost person? Are you more into the cryptozoology, creatures, things like that? Or are you an alien person? Because it's kind of hard for me to pick between the three. I will say cryptozoology is going to be on that last part. I mean, I know there's a lot of cool things about it, but I think what fascinates me more is the whole aspect of life existing beyond the realm that we see, or can feel or can touch, because I've always been someone that, like, it's hard to believe something unless I can touch it. But for some reason, when it comes to aliens or paranormal activity with ghosts, spirits, again, whatever you want to call them, you know, I've always found those two probably fascinating the same to me. Because, I mean, it's hard to believe that we live in a vast space that we don't know the end. It goes on for infinity. So to think that there is not something out there, and I know we've touched on it before, we've touched on how I think Orville could almost be 100% completely correct on how we may be seen by another alien life form. So I do believe there's got to be something out there, and I find it very hard to believe that anyone that's not really, you can't say you have much of an open mind if you think that in this vast majority of space, there's not the possibility of something else out there. It just seems a little crazy to me, even though people were going to say people like us are crazy for actually believing that. But the objectivity of it, to me, it seems backwards to think that we're alone in something in this, again, universe that we don't know the end of. So I don't think we can actually say that one way or the other. And then same thing with ghosts, the ghost and spirit thing. I mean, it's one of those things too where I do think without an experience, you almost have trouble believing, because it does seem to have some kind of, negative connotation when you see or hear people talk about it. Like, it's one of the subjects that's outside that norm. So when you first hear it, you kind of think, are you crazy? But then when you experience things, it makes it real to you. And it's hard for others to have it be real to them. And I mean, I believed before I even had my first one, but I've always been someone that's been weird, apparently. So, but that's, a lot of people. But then there's a lot of people who you would never really expect to be into it, but there's an experience and it makes it real. So it is one of those things to me, like I said, between ghosts and between aliens, I can't pick which aspect of the paranormal I like more. Like I said, I think I like them both equally. So I'm curious what, our listeners out there, I'm curious, what's your favorite aspect of the paranormal? Are you more of a cryptozoologist? If so, what's your favorite, creature out there that you think you've seen or you've heard or you do believe is real, whether you believe it's real in an aspect of, well, maybe it's just this unknown species that's just being, mislabeled or misidentified as something. I'm curious to see, like I said, what others feel in regards to that aspect. Like I said, I want to engage in conversations with you guys. So these kind of conversations that we keep going on social media and things like that, it'll help shape the show and make sure you guys are continuing to come on back. Hopefully I'll get better a little bit at my pausing and things like that. I know I want to keep producing the greatest quality content, and the best way to do that is by you guys helping. The more I speak, and the better I will hopefully get at doing this. So again, guys, I appreciate you all tuning in. That's going to about do it for me. Don't forget, again, I do want to get back to video, and I do want to come up with showing some evidence of pictures or videos that you guys may have happened to caught yourself, or things we maybe find on YouTube that we can discuss, or these videos that I find and send the links to, and maybe we can play them here first and discuss them there as well. So if you guys are listening to just the audio podcast, check us out on YouTube, Cinescape Media YouTube, where, again, starting next week, we'll have the videos going again. to show those types of evidence. And if you have any that you want to see on the show, send it over, suburbanparanormal@gmail.com. And again, anything on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, you can find us Suburban Paranormal. Twitter, it's SUBURBNPARANRML. Thanks to Twitter and your character limits, that's why. So again, last time, just wanted to say thank you. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. Appreciate all the downloads. And I appreciate all the people that have followed us and interacted so far. So I'm out. You guys stay safe. Keep washing your hands. Hopefully this COVID-19's over shortly and we can all get back to investigating. So for now, I'm signing off. See yas.